A 12-inch Lodge cast iron skillet costs less at Walmart than it does through Lodge cast iron itself. The skillet is identical. It comes from the same Tennessee foundry where the Lodge family has poured iron since 1896. On a Walmart shelf, the price sits around $25. Buying direct from the manufacturer pushes it close to $45. That difference is not an error. The giant retailer with yellow lines across the parking lot operates on a system most shoppers misunderstood for years. This walkthrough focuses on 7 products inside Walmart's kitchen section, where pricing drops far below boutique cookware stores. In several cases, the shelf tag even undercuts the manufacturer's own website. Each item traces back to a specific parent company, a real production facility, and a pricing model that lets Walmart move the product at that number. At the end of the aisle sits another category entirely: celebrity-licensed cookware lines. Those are the products to avoid. A previous comparison involving Costco centered on warehouse pricing through bundled packs. 2 pans together, multiple baking sheets wrapped in one package. Walmart works differently. Its leverage comes from year-round unit volume, 1 skillet at a time, 1 measuring cup at a time. Heritage manufacturers still make a profit because Walmart guarantees constant demand at enormous scale. What Walmart could not do was erase those manufacturers. The Lodge skillet remains genuine Lodge. The Tramontina pan beside it still comes from Brazil. The Presto canner on another shelf rolls off the same line used for hardware store inventory. The names still carry the meaning they had in 1950. But Walmart also created the opposite side of the kitchen department. The Pioneer Woman collection, the Beautiful by Drew Barrymore line, the Mainstays label. Those products rely on licensing instead of manufacturing history. A celebrity face or private label appears on the front panel. Overseas contract factories sit quietly on the back. That is the half of the aisle worth skipping. The first product on the buy list is small. A Microplane Premium Classic Series Zester sells near $18 at Walmart. Kitchen specialty retailers often list the same tool between $25 and $30 depending on finish and seasonal demand. Microplane began inside Grace Manufacturing in Russellville, Arkansas. Brothers Richard Grace and Jeff Grace launched the business in 1990, building photo-etched stainless blades for industrial woodworking equipment. The original Microplane rasp belonged to the woodworking category. Then, in 1994, a woman in Canada borrowed her husband's woodworking rasp to prepare orange zest for an Armenian orange cake. The result outperformed every kitchen zester she had previously used. A hardware retailer named Lee Valley started placing the rasp in its kitchen section. An accidental invention created a new cookware category. The blade uses photo-etched stainless steel. The teeth form through chemical processing rather than grinding wheels. That design keeps the cutting surface sharp for years after ordinary blades lose performance. The surface also resists buildup through long-term use, often lasting 15 to 20 years in a normal kitchen. Production still happens in Russellville. The Grace family still owns the operation. Walmart prices the Zester around $18. Sur la Table often lists the same item near $30. Same Arkansas facility, same warranty documentation, roughly 40% cheaper. Next comes the mason jar aisle. A 12-pack of Ball regular mouth pint jars sells below $15 at Walmart. Small country-style kitchen stores frequently ask more than $20. The mason jar began in 1858 when tinsmith John Landis Mason patented a threaded glass container with a screw-top closure. The Ball brothers purchased a small glass jar business in Buffalo, New York in 1880. Soon afterward, they moved operations to Muncie, Indiana, attracted by nearby natural gas reserves that reduced the cost of glass production. By the early 1900s, Ball had become the largest jar producer in America. Ownership changed over the decades. Today, the Ball canning business belongs to Newell Brands. Ball Corporation separated from the canning division in 1993 to concentrate on aerospace operations. The jar business later passed through Jarden Corporation before ending under Newell. The company trades publicly under the ticker NWL. What never changed was the jar itself. The glass thickness stayed consistent. The threaded neck remained the same. Lid diameter and mouth size continue to match the original standard first patented in 1858. At Walmart, the jars average close to $1 each. Smaller decorative kitchen stores nearly double the number. The difference is not the glass. It is the overhead attached to boutique retail space. The next product sits in the baking section. A 4-cup Anchor Hocking glass measuring cup sells near $8 at Walmart. Williams Sonoma prices the same item between $14 and $16. Many American kitchens automatically reach for Pyrex first. But several years ago, the Federal Trade Commission reached a settlement involving false made-in-USA claims tied to Pyrex 3-piece and 4-piece measuring cup sets. Consumers later received refund payments after learning the sets had actually been manufactured in China. Anchor Hocking followed a different path. The company still presses its soda lime glass in Lancaster, Ohio, at the same facility operating since 1905. Ownership shifted multiple times through corporate restructuring, but the Lancaster plant remained the foundation that kept the business alive. The measuring cup works best for room temperature ingredients: water, oil, flour, vinegar, thermal shock concerns. Tied to modern soda, lime glass usually involve cookware, moving directly between freezer and oven conditions. A measuring cup handling ordinary ingredients avoids that kind of stress. Walmart sells the 4-cup version for about $8. Boutique cookware stores often charge nearly $15. Same Lancaster factory, same red measurement markings, same design Americans have seen since the 1950s. Then the cookware section shifts towards stainless steel. A 12-inch Tramontina tri-ply clad frying pan costs around $55 at Walmart when inventory is available. Comparable shapes in the all-clad D3 collection approach $200 in upscale cookware stores. Most shoppers overlook Tramontina completely. Professional restaurant kitchens do not. The company started in 1911 when Italian immigrant Valentin Tramontina opened a small iron mill inside his own home in Carlos Barbosa, southern Brazil, together with his wife Elisa de Checo. Valentin died in 1939. Elisa operated the company alone for 10 years before transferring leadership to their son, Ivo. The Tramontina family still controls the business today. The operation now employs 10,000 workers across 13 factories inside Brazil and distributes products into 120 countries. The tri-ply clad cookware line is the version restaurant kitchens actually request. The cooking surface uses Type 304 austenitic stainless steel, 18% chromium, 8 to 10% nickel. The metallurgy specifications appear directly on the packaging and on the company website. A real Type 304 stainless pan has weight to it. A 12-inch tri-ply skillet should come in around 3 to 3.5 pounds. The Tramontina version does exactly that. Lift it from the Walmart shelf and the difference becomes obvious immediately. Your hand can tell whether the steel is genuine or one of the lightweight imitation 1810 blends flooding the low-end cookware aisle. The metallurgy class matches the material used by All-Clad. The price does not. The Brazilian-made pan performs the same task at roughly 25% of the showroom cost. Different country, same purpose. One pan stays in the kitchen for 30 years. Moving higher in price, a 23-quart Presto pressure canner sells for around $100 at Walmart. Hardware store catalogs place the same model near $200. Specialty cookware retailers with dedicated canning sections often push the number beyond $240. Presto remains one of the names trusted by long-established home canning communities. Official cooperative extension services avoid endorsing brands directly, but experienced canners settled decades ago on 2 manufacturers they consistently rely on. Presto became one of them. The company behind the product is National Presto Industries. It began operations in 1905 in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. The Cohen family has directed the company for decades. Mario Cohen has served as chief executive since 1994. The business trades publicly on the New York Stock Exchange using the ticker NPK, though trade publications still classify it as family-controlled because the Cohen family owns enough stock to maintain practical authority. The 23-quart canner holds 7-quart jars in one layer or 24-pint jars stacked across 2 layers. Pressure canning remains the only safe preservation method for low-acid foods. Meat, corn, beans, peas, broths, and stocks. A boiling water bath cannot reach temperatures required for safe long-term storage of low-acid ingredients. Anyone sealing corn, beans, or chicken stock through a water bath process is taking a risk without realizing it. The canner itself uses heavy cast aluminum construction. A 3-piece deadweight regulator sits on the lid and rocks during cooking to release excess pressure. No touchscreen, no circuit board, no electronic chip. The same mechanical pressure control system used since the 1930s. With normal household use, the pot can remain functional for 50 to 80 years. Another product near the top of the value list is the OXO Good Grips swivel peeler. Walmart prices it around $10. Design-focused kitchen retailers often charge between $15 and $18. The peeler became important enough to enter the permanent collection at the Museum of Modern Art. Its story began in the late 1980s when Sam Farber retired from the kitchen products industry and watched his wife Betsy struggle while peeling apples at home. Arthritis in her hands made traditional metal-handled peelers painful and difficult to control. Sam Farber promised to design something better. He partnered with a New York design company called Smart Design. Together, they created a broad oval handle built from thermoplastic rubber. Non-slip ribs ran along the sides. The grip fit nearly any hand and remained secure even when wet. The peeler launched within the OXO Good Grips line in 1990. 4 years later, in 1994, the Museum of Modern Art added it to its permanent collection. Ownership changed over time. Today, Helen of Troy serves as the corporate parent and trades publicly on NASDAQ. That answer would have sounded very different to the Farber family in 1995. The peeler itself barely changed. The handle shape stayed identical. The rubber formula remained the same. So did the carbon stainless blade. swivel mount, and rivet layout. The original 1990 design still survives untouched, $10 at Walmart, $18 at a boutique kitchen counter. Same tool, half the price. At the top of the value list sits the classic 12-inch Lodge pre-seasoned cast iron skillet. Walmart prices it around $25. Ordering directly from the Lodge website raises the number close to $45. Boutique cookware stores often place the same skillet between $60 and $70. Some celebrity-endorsed coated pans with similar dimensions sell near $300. Lodge continues to represent one of the strongest surviving heritage manufacturers in the American kitchen industry. Joseph Lodge established the foundry in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee in 1896. The company still operates on that same land inside the same town. The Lodge family now spans 4th, 5th, and 6th generation leadership. Hundreds of employees work across 2 foundries located entirely within the South Pittsburgh town limits, a community with roughly 3,000 residents. Each skillet begins as molten iron poured into sand molds. Before packaging, every pan receives a pre-seasoning treatment through vegetable oil polymerization. Walmart sells the single 12-inch skillet at a lower number than Lodge charges directly and far below boutique cookware pricing. The reason is volume. Walmart moves Lodge cookware continuously by truckload throughout the entire year. Lodge accepts lower per-piece pricing in exchange for that enormous steady demand. The skillet brought home from Walmart is identical to the one shipped to high-end cookware stores charging twice as much. Same iron pour, same Tennessee workers, same pre-seasoning process, same lifetime guarantee promising the skillet will outlive its owner. A $25 Lodge skillet used daily for 40 years costs roughly 63 cents annually in cooking use. A $300 celebrity cookware pan replaced every 2 years across the same 40-year span costs a household $6,000, along with mountains of discarded aluminum. The math behind Lodge has stayed unchanged since 1896. That completes the 7 products on the recommended list. Microplane, Ball, Anchor Hawking, Tramontina, Presto. OXO Good Grips, Lodge. At Walmart pricing, the combined total reaches roughly $230. $18 for the microplane zester, $14 for the 12-pack of jars, $8 for the measuring cup, $55 for the Tramontina skillet, $100 for the Presto canner, $10 for the peeler, $25 for the Lodge pan. Together, they build a kitchen filled with heirloom grade tools capable of lasting beyond a second home. Buying those same 7 products through specialty cookware retailers pushes the cost above $600, more than 2.5 times higher for identical equipment. Then comes the opposite side of the Walmart kitchen aisle. The first line to pass without stopping is the Pioneer Woman floral cookware. Dinnerware sets, knife blocks, slow cookers, mixing bowls, casserole dishes. The collection covers nearly the entire west wall of the Walmart kitchen department. Roughly 450 product SKUs fill the line. Cast aluminum non-stick skillets appear in turquoise and red finishes. Ceramic coated bakeware carries floral designs. Knife block sets use stamped blades attached to painted plastic handles. The Pioneer Woman is Ree Drummond, a cookbook writer from Oklahoma and a Food Network television personality. As a cookware brand, the Pioneer Woman operates through a Walmart exclusive licensing agreement signed in 2015 with a Los Angeles company named Gibson Overseas. Gibson Overseas controls both the production relationships and the licensing rights. Ree Drummond's name appears across the front panel. The cookbook branding sits beside it. The contract factory in China appears on the back. A 7-piece The Pioneer Woman enameled cast iron Dutch oven collection sells for roughly $50. One comparable enameled pot from Lodge costs around $60. The Pioneer Woman line beats heritage cookware brands at the shelf by attaching a celebrity identity to lower-priced cookware that immediately catches attention. But the long-term numbers reverse quickly. A $50 Pioneer Woman Dutch oven usually survives around 18 months before enamel damage appears. The $60 enameled Lodge version continues working for 30 to 40 years. Measured by yearly use, the Pioneer Woman pot costs about $33 annually. The Lodge version lands near $2 per year. The cheaper celebrity pot becomes the most expensive cookware in the room. Then there's the second line to skip, Beautiful by Drew Barrymore, pastel countertop appliances, a matte sage slow cooker, a dusty rose kettle, a butter yellow air fryer, an ivory espresso machine. The collection launched as a Walmart exclusive in 2021. Drew Barrymore supplies the celebrity branding. The real manufacturer behind the products is a company named Made by Gather. Entrepreneur Sha Hong founded Made by Gather in 2003. The company designs appliances and oversees contract manufacturing for multiple retailers. For cookware tools and cutlery inside the Beautiful line, Made by Gather also works alongside Lifetime Brands, a publicly traded company listed on the New York Stock Exchange. 2 corporate licensing partners. 1 celebrity face printed on the box, oversees contract production behind it. This category represents the weakest segment in the kitchen appliance market. Disposable touchscreen appliances. printed circuit boards mounted directly under heating elements. The board sits only inches above a 1500-watt heat source while hot air flows across sensitive electronic components. Every operating cycle slowly damages the capacitors. Solder joints crack. Screens freeze. Buttons stop responding. The touchscreen slow cooker stands out as the weakest product in the beautiful lineup. A slow cooker should be one of the simplest electrical machines in a kitchen. Heating element, thermostat, 3-setting switch. That is the entire system. The crock-pot, many families kept for 40 years, used exactly that arrangement. The beautiful version replaces mechanical controls with a touchscreen interface and swaps simple wiring for a circuit board. The result becomes a sage-colored appliance that fails after roughly 2 years, just like many digital air fryers. The pastel finish carries the burden engineering once handled. Walmart prices the beautiful touchscreen slow cooker near $65. A Hamilton Beach slow cooker with a mechanical dial on the same shelf costs about $40. That extra $15 covers celebrity licensing fees, a touchscreen likely to fail within 3 years, and matte exterior paint designed to attract attention at the shelf. The third category to move past is mainstays, Walmart's private label cookware line. 9-piece cookware sets sell for $60 in plain white packaging near the bottom of the aisle. Nearby shelves carry bakeware in muted colors. Red, blue, and slate gray cookware collections line the section. Mainstays follows the same private label strategy used by Kirkland Signature. Different retailer, same formula. Confidential overseas suppliers, lower target pricing, marketing labels replacing metallurgy details. The stainless steel specifications for Mainstays cookware do not appear on the packaging. Supplier identities remain undisclosed. Roughly 78% of Walmart's Mainstays cookware suppliers operate from Guangdong province in southern China. Neither the manufacturer nor even the country of origin receives clear identification for the customer. A stamp reading 1810 appears on the bottom of the pans, but in low cost, imports that stamp means very little by itself. Stainless grade matters more than the marketing number. A Mainstays skillet weighs around 1 pound. A genuine Type 3 0410-inch tri-ply skillet weighs roughly 3.5 pounds. Triple the mass in your hand. Weight alone reveals which pan uses lower grade aluminum-clad import construction. Type 201 becomes the questionable material. Acidic foods create pitting. Manganese can leach into tomato sauce during cooking. The Mainstays non-stick cookware sold in green ribbon packaging uses the same Sol-Gel ceramic coating chemistry found across much of the so-called ceramic cookware market. About 18 months later, the coating wears out. By the second year, most sets end up discarded. A 9-piece Mainstays set priced at $60 appears attractive beside a $55 Tramontina 12-inch tri-ply frying pan sitting on the same shelf. But the math changes over time. Mainstays cookware works out to roughly $30 yearly before the coating fails. The Tramontina pan costs around $1.8 annually and still remains in service after 30 years. The Mainstays box becomes the trap. The Tramontina pan nearby becomes the way out. One more look across the Walmart kitchen department tells the entire story. One side contains honest heritage manufacturing, Lodge, Tramontina, Presto, Ball, Microplane, OXO Good Grips. Anchor hawking glassware. Those companies use Walmart's massive volume contracts to place legitimate products on shelves at prices lower than their own websites. The other side revolves around licensing. The Pioneer Woman, Beautiful by Drew Barrymore, Mainstays. None of those 3 lines operates at Tennessee Foundry, an Ohio glass facility, a Wisconsin aluminum canner press, or a Brazilian iron mill. They operate through celebrity branding and overseas contract factories. Both categories share the same aisle. A $25 Lodge skillet lasting 40 years costs about 63 cents annually. A $65 Beautiful slow cooker surviving 2 years costs $33 per year. The plain-looking workhorse ends up costing 50 times less per year than the licensed appliance designed to appear expensive. My grandmother stored her canning tools on a wooden shelf deep in the cellar. A Presto pressure canner with a dead weight rocker attached to the lid. Boxes of ball jars carried home from a hardware store during summers, when hardware stores still dedicated entire aisles to canning season in August. A large cast iron skillet rested on the cellar floor because the weight became too much for an upstairs counter later in life. A measuring cup with red markings down the side, passed to her as a wedding gift from her mother. A peeler with a wooden handle worn thin after years of sharpening the blade against stone until it became 1/4 inch narrower than when it was new. 3 of those tools originally came from what is now called Walmart. 2 came from her mother. None were replaced. The kitchen built around those tools fed 3 generations. This week, push a cart through the nearest Walmart and walk the kitchen aisle twice. During the first pass, stop at the west wall covered in Pioneer Woman cookware. Pick up any pan, turn the package over, find the manufacturer name, look for the country of origin, read the fine print explaining who handles the warranty if the cookware fails within 18 months. Then make a second pass. Walk toward the cast iron section. Pick up a Lodge skillet and search for the same details. Those two labels explain the entire aisle. One side places a celebrity image on the front and an overseas factory on the back. The other side places an American foundry at both ends. The cart leaving the store depends entirely on which label earned your trust. The truth was printed on the back of every box the entire time. Walmart never concealed it. The store simply stopped expecting shoppers to flip the package over and read it. If this breakdown helped you see the kitchen aisle differently, keep following for more deep dives into the products, factories, and companies hiding behind everyday retail shelves. Please leave your thoughts about this content in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.